stop everything you are doing right now. A sweet, hard-working girl on one of the longest-running shows on American daytime television has just been accused, on camera, of targeting a billionaire's son for his money, his beach house, and his last name. And the twist is so quiet, so psychological, that most viewers did not see it coming until the accusation was already out of her mouth. According to publicly discussed spoilers and fan-driven reporting from outlets like Soap Dirt, Soap Opera Digest, Soaps.com, She Knows Soaps, and Celeb Dirty Laundry, the character Melissa Dillon, played by Sydney Bullock on The Bold and the Beautiful, is being pivoted hard from the lovable underdog into something the fans have been calling, with no filter, a gold digger. And the rumored endgame, the one fans keep whispering in the comments and on fan forums, is a pregnancy. The exact same move that the show just used in living memory on a character who ended up becoming one of the most hated villains in the entire history of the soap. That is what is swirling through B&B fandom right now, and that is the question we are going to chase today. Welcome to Soap Pulse. I am Anderson, and if you love the soaps, the love stories, the betrayals, and the completely unhinged plot twists the daytime world keeps throwing at us, you are in the right place. Before we dive in, if this channel has become part of your week, hit that like button, tap share on this one with a friend who still argues about Brooke and Ridge in the comments, and if you have not subscribed yet, this is the perfect moment to join us. Subscribing is free, and it is what keeps these deep dives coming. Now, let us walk straight into the middle of this story. Let us set the scene. The Bold and the Beautiful is one of the last great American institutions of daytime. It has been on the air since 1987. It is filmed in Los Angeles. It is watched in living rooms, hospitals, salons, gyms, and break rooms across the country, and the fan base treats it less like a TV show and more like an inherited family heirloom. Generations of viewers grew up watching the Forrester family design dresses, the Logan sisters fight over the same men, the Spencer family throw around money like it grows on trees, and the writers throw in plot twists that nobody, absolutely nobody, can predict 5 episodes in advance. For decades, B&B has followed a rhythm. Sweet girl shows up, sweet girl meets rich boy. Sweet girl is either destroyed by the family or invited into the family. There is usually a villain in between, and the sweet girl, more often than not, comes out the other end, married to the rich boy, pregnant, and wearing diamond earrings the size of dinner plates. That is the formula, and almost every fan knows it by heart. Now, here is where it gets strange. According to publicly available storyline coverage and Soap Opera Digest's exclusive reporting, the show introduced a character who seemed, at first glance, to walk right into that formula. Her name is Melissa Dillon, though almost everyone just calls her Dillon. She is played by the newcomer Sydney Bullock, and she made such an impression that the show quickly upgraded Bullock to contract status and gave the character a full first name in the credits. That alone tells you something. B&B does not hand out contract upgrades for nothing, but Dillon's road into the spotlight did not begin as a romance. It began as a crime scene, and that is the part of this saga most casual viewers have never heard. When Dillon first showed up on canvas, she was credited as Ms. Dillon, an art teacher. She was not introduced as Will's love interest at all. She was introduced through Luna Nozawa, played by Lisa Yamada. Luna, then in full villain mode, used Dillon's art class as a lure to nearly kill Steffi Forrester. Dylan, by accident of plot, became the civilian who happened to be standing near one of the most dangerous villains in modern B&B history. Then, in Story Beats, the show has now confirmed in episode recaps, and that Soap Opera Digest highlighted in its exclusive with Bullock, Dylan returned to the canvas and, in a moment of chaotic chance, accidentally struck and killed Luna with her car during a pursuit. Dylan is, in other words, the woman who killed Luna, not on purpose, not as an assassin, but as the random stroke of fate who cleaned up the mess when nobody else could. That single accidental act ended up entangling Dylan in the Spencer family's deepest wound because the Luna situation was already the darkest chapter in Will Spencer's life. And from the moment Dylan killed Luna, she was no longer a random art teacher on the margins. She was inside the story. Will Spencer is the son of Bill Spencer, played by Don Diamont, one of the most powerful men in Los Angeles, and Katie Logan, played by Heather Tom. He is also the brother of Wyatt Spencer, who has his own love triangle baggage across the show's history. Will is played by Crew Morrow, a young actor who is, in a strange bit of real-life casting coincidence, the son of Joshua Morrow, the veteran star of The Young and the Restless. The character Will is currently the man at the center of the most chaotic triangle on the canvas, because on one side there is Electra Forrester, played by Linnea Grace, and on the other side, increasingly, there is Dylan. Will has become a kind of wishy-washy romantic lead, the kind of man who keeps waffling between two women, telling himself he is being loyal while he is, in fact, being a mess. He is essentially dating the family he works for and the family he used to work for, and the writers keep stacking his personal life with reasons to feel sorry for him. Recently, he went through one of the most disturbing storylines in recent soap memory. He was drugged, manipulated, and non-consensually involved with Luna Nozawa, who impersonated Electra and got pregnant with his child in an attempt to trap him inside the Spencer family. That saga ended with Luna claiming a miscarriage at the worst possible emotional moment, with the baby's paternity still being publicly debated by fans and commentators to this day, and it left Will a broken man. Anybody who has watched that arc unfold knows Will is fragile right now. He is vulnerable. He wants to believe in someone. He is carrying guilt, grief, and confusion. And according to the storyline reporting that has been swirling all summer, he may be picking the wrong someone. That someone is Dylan. And that is where the gold digger accusation lands. The accusation came from Electra. According to episode recaps covered by Soap Dirt and a number of fan-driven podcasts, Electra lost it when she found out that Dylan had spent the night at Will's beach house, even though nothing physical had happened between them. On top of that, Dylan told Electra, point blank, that she was in love with Will and that she had been in love with him for a while. The fans had been picking up on the chemistry for weeks, but hearing Dylan say it out loud to Electra while Electra had spent months tolerating the closeness was the moment everything cracked. Electra dumped Will. She said she would never get back together with him. She then turned straight to Dylan and told her that from here on out, Dylan had to back off. Dylan, in turn, said she was tired of Electra telling her what she can and cannot do, and that is when Electra went nuclear. She accused Dylan of trying to get close to the family, of wanting the lifestyle of Los Angeles wealth that Electra, Will, and RJ all grew up with, of treating the Spencer fortune like a finish line. Electra never actually said the phrase gold digger out loud, but the meaning was unmistakable, and that is what has detonated across the fandom. Fans will tell you in the comments sections of every soap site and in the chatty Facebook groups that have been running on this for weeks that Electra's accusation felt less like a random insult and more like a setup. Because this is not the first time the show has run a sweet girl into a wealthy family arc. It is the playbook, and longtime fans remember exactly how the original played out. Let us take a walk back to the very first season of The Bold and the Beautiful. Brooke Logan, who would eventually become one of the longest-running female characters in American daytime television history, was not wealthy when she walked onto the canvas. She was middle class, she was engaged to a kind, decent cop, and then she took a catering job with her mother at the Forrester mansion and walked into the orbit of Ridge Forrester, the eldest son of one of the richest families in the country. Brooke dumped the cop. She went after Ridge, and from that moment on, the entire engine of the show was built on her trying to keep her grip on the Forrester name, money, and power. Generations of fans have spent decades arguing about whether Brooke was a love story or a slow-motion gold digger arc. The fact that the conversation still rages is the entire point. The writers know the pattern. They have used it. They know the audience is conditioned to read it. So when they start laying it down again, fans spot it instantly. And then there is Luna. Luna Nozawa is the elephant in the room that nobody can ignore, and the writers know it. Luna entered the show as a sweet young woman with a sad backstory. The audience rooted for her. Then the writers did a hard 180. Luna became a manipulative, calculating, murderous villain who impersonated Electra to sleep with a drugged Will, got pregnant on purpose, and tried to force a life inside the Spencer family through deception. It is one of the most hated storylines of the modern era of the show, and it is fresh in everyone's memory. The emotional residue from Luna's arc is so strong that fans cannot watch a new woman move in on Will without seeing the ghost of Luna standing right behind her. So when fans see Dylan cozying up to Will at the beach house, hinting at chemistry, hinting at feelings, hinting at a future, they are not just watching a romance. They are watching their trauma. They are watching the exact same setup that produced Luna. They are watching a woman with very little money getting very close to a very rich, very lonely, very vulnerable man with a thin maternal family structure that is already fractured. And the question that has been burning across forums ever since is whether the writers are about to do it again, whether they know they are doing it again, and whether anyone in the writers' room cares if the audience catches them. Sydney Bullock knows all of this. She went on record with Soap Opera Digest in an exclusive interview in remarks that have been picked up and reshared across Soaps.com, Yahoo Entertainment, and several other entertainment outlets. And she made the case directly. She insisted Dylan is not Luna 2.0. She explained that she wanted Dylan to feel grounded, that she did not want the audience to feel like they were watching a repeat, and that she is playing the character's genuine affection for Will as the central truth of every scene she is in. Bullock went further. She admitted, in her own words, that there are viewers who want to believe Dylan is evil, but her own interpretation is that Dylan is not evil, that she is a girl who has been through a lot and is trying to figure out life, and that she might make questionable decisions, but is not out to destroy anyone. She even used the phrase, quote, unquotable shocker of a confession, that at heart, Dylan is a, quote, unquotable, just a girl with a crush who got swept up. Bullock also pushed back with a laugh on the more unhinged fan theories circulating online, telling Soap Opera Digest that as far as she knows, she is not Luna in a mask, she is not Luna with plastic surgery to look like Dylan, and she is not putting anyone in a cage. The point of those quotes from Bullock is not to settle the question. The point is to show you that the actress playing Dylan is publicly defending her character's innocence while the storyline is publicly feeding the suspicion. The two narratives are running parallel. They are aimed at two different audiences, and the show is leaving both doors open. Now, here is where the storyline gets uglier. According to spoilers circulated by Soap Dirt, Soap Opera Spy, and several community channels, the long-range plan for Dylan and Will has a specific next step that has set the fandom on fire. The plan is a pregnancy. The reported framing is that Dylan, after spending the night with Will at the beach house and finally sleeping with him, may deliberately become pregnant as a way to secure her grip on the Spencer family and on Will himself. The logic, as the spoilers lay it out, is brutally practical. Will's mother, Katie, has already been suspicious of Dylan's past. Will's father, Bill, is actively advising Will to move on from Electra. Will's brother Wyatt has already met Dylan and liked her in story beats where she was apparently introduced to Wyatt under a different name, Nancy, which is its own rabbit hole. The family is moving in a direction that is friendly to Dylan. And Will, fresh off the trauma of Luna's fake pregnancy and what he believed was a miscarriage that tore him apart, is, narratively speaking, in a place where his heart is more open than it has ever been. So if Dylan wants to lock this down permanently, the most efficient move available to her, the move that has worked on this show before, is a child. Fans have noticed. The forum threads have exploded. Discussion posts across fan forums and aggregator sites openly wonder whether, quote, if she gets pregnant with a Spencer baby, Dylan will be set for life. The sentiment across social media has hardened quickly. There is a clear split. One camp is convinced Dylan is being set up to be the next Brooke Logan, a sympathetic, long-term, eventually legitimized member of the family who used love as her entry point and stayed for decades. The other camp is convinced Dylan is being set up to be the next Luna, a calculated operator who used intimacy, fertility, and timing to lock down a wealthy man. And the most paranoid corner of the fandom has been pushing a third theory, that Dylan is not even who she says she is, that there is something in her past Katie is suspicious of, that the mystery phone calls Dylan has been getting hint at a much bigger secret than just being broke. There is even a twist the show has reportedly dropped in recent episodes that Dylan is the cousin of another character, Remy, which has opened a brand new door of speculation about whether Dylan has any other hidden ties to the canvas. And for viewers still processing the hit and run that killed Luna, the cousin reveal raises an even darker question. What if Melissa Dylan has been hiding in plain sight long before anyone realized who she was? Let us now step back and look at how the writers of the show have been laying the dominoes, because this is not haphazard. According to the storyline reporting, Dylan has been doing something very specific over the past several weeks. She has been doing emotional work on RJ. RJ is played by the actor Brian Nicoletti and is one of the Forrester sons. He has been circling Electra in his own confused way, and he is also a friend of Will's. Dylan sat down with RJ, told him that Electra and Will were not actually a good match, that RJ was, in fact, a much better match for Electra, and that Dylan herself was a better match for Will. And here is the part that has the fans gasping. RJ agreed. He is reportedly on board with that framing, which means that if Dylan is moving into Will's orbit, she is also engineering RJ to step into Electra's orbit by removing Dylan from Electra's life of petty intrusion. Whether the writers intended this as a love story, a chess move, or a gold digger arc, the effect is the same. Dylan is clearing the runway, and she is doing it without raising her hand. There is another layer to this that almost no one is talking about: the financial incentive. According to fans tracking the show, Dylan is preparing for what she believes is the inevitable, namely Electra firing her from Forrester Creations. That matters because Forrester Creations is Dylan's main paycheck. If the show cuts her off from that job, Dylan loses her livelihood, and the only shield she has against the accusation of targeting Will's money, the only argument she has that she is in love with Will and not with Will's wallet, instantly evaporates. A working woman who loves a man is one thing. A fired, broke, formerly car-living woman who is sleeping with the boss's son is a completely different story in the daytime lens. And the show has not been shy about putting Dylan in the most economically desperate position a young woman can be in on camera for months. Sydney Bullock herself has confirmed in interviews that the homeless storyline was something she learned about reading the scripts. That is not a coincidence. That is a writer setting a table. And then there is the Katie confrontation at Will's beach house. According to reported beat sheets, Katie Logan shows up, finds Dylan at the house, and is openly annoyed. Katie knows Will loves Electra. Katie has watched her son survive a manipulative pregnancy, and now Katie is being asked to watch her son cuddle up with a woman who, in Katie's eyes, may have been engineered to replace Electra before the ink on the breakup is even dry. The deeper layer, the one longtime fans understand instinctively, is that Katie has lived this story before. Brooke Logan spent decades inserting herself between Katie and Bill Spencer. Brooke walked into a Logan-Spencer romance again and again, and every single time, Katie was the one who lost. So if the show is now giving Katie the chance to look at a young outsider and call her Brooke before the outsider becomes Brooke, the writers are not being subtle. They are borrowing Katie's memory to short-circuit the gold digger arc before it can fully launch. Katie is reportedly suspicious of Dylan's past, and the framing of that confrontation in fan reporting is that Katie might see Dylan as a Brooke figure. And if you have been watching the show for any length of time, you know what that means. Brooke has spent decades driving a wedge between Katie and every Spencer man she ever loved. Katie does not forget. Katie does not forgive. And if the show is gearing up for Katie to lead the charge against Dylan, you can bet the writers are not in a rush to wrap this up. The fan reaction across YouTube, Reddit, and the dedicated B&B Facebook groups has been loud, divided, and very, very fast. On Reddit specifically, threads debating Dylan's intentions have split the room from the moment the gold digger accusations began. Some fans openly argue that they think Dylan is, quote, unquotable, cringy, and desperate, and that she gives, quote, unquotable, secondhand embarrassment. Other fans, in the exact same thread, defend her and argue that she has been unfairly portrayed. On YouTube, channels that cover Bold and the Beutiful spoilers have racked up millions of views on videos centered on the pregnancy rumor, the gold digger accusation, and the question of Dylan's true nature. The titles alone, phrases like Dylan's pregnancy trap, Melissa Dylan's fake pregnancy exposed, Will discovers Dylan got pregnant, Dylan's pregnancy shatters Electra, tell you where the chatter has landed. The audiences are openly theorizing about how far Dylan is willing to go and whether the pregnancy is real, fake, engineered, or accidental. Across dedicated fan forums, one camp of fans actively roots for Dylan to, quote, unquotable, steal Will from Electra because they resent Electra for the way she handled Will's trauma. Other fans are convinced Will is being played, that Dylan planned for Will's relationship to end before it happened, and that the gold digger label is not an insult, it is a diagnosis. The disagreement is not about whether Dylan has chemistry with Will. The disagreement is about what that chemistry actually is. Today, the answers are nowhere. Sydney Bullock is publicly insisting Dylan is not Luna 2.0. The spoilers are publicly saying the writers are tracking a pregnancy. The fans are publicly losing their minds. Will is reportedly being pushed by Bill, by Wyatt, by the family to move on from Electra. And Electra is reportedly preparing to fight for her place in Will's life by any means necessary, including, reportedly, firing Dylan from Forrester Creations and trying to push her out of the social circle permanently. Every single character on the canvas, from Katie to Bill to Wyatt to RJ to Electra to Will to even the memory of Luna Nozawa, has a stake in whether Dylan is a gold digger or not, and the entire B&B fandom is watching the writers try to figure out which way to take the character. And if there is a bigger takeaway from this whole saga, it is this. American daytime television is being pulled in two directions at once. It is trying to tell sincere love stories about poor girls who fall in love with rich men. And it is also trying to satisfy a modern audience that knows, suspects, and resents the economics underneath those stories. The Bold and the Beautiful has been running this story for close to 40 years. Brooke, Taylor, Steffi, Brooke again, Taylor again, Brooke again, and now, possibly, Dylan. And every single time the show hits that note, the audience reads it differently. Soaps fans are not stupid. They know the romance is a business. They know the writers are writing for ratings. They know the actors are playing for contracts and screen time. And they know the gold digger accusation in real life is not just a plot device. It is a real feeling that real people have in real families, watching real money pass hands across generations. So when a character on screen is accused of gold digging, it lands, it sticks, and it does not go away. Dylan, Will, Electra, Katie, Bill, Wyatt, RJ, the family, the fortune, the beach house, the car she used to sleep in, the art supplies she carried around, the hit and run that ended Luna, the cousin Remy she may have been protecting, the necklace Wyatt liked, the way Bill smiled when he first met her, the way Katie squinted when she first saw her. Every detail is being cataloged by an audience that will not forget a single frame. That is what makes this story worth a deep dive. It is not the gold digging itself, it is the question underneath it. What is a poor girl supposed to do when she falls in love with a rich boy and the rich boy's family treats her love like a crime? Is she supposed to walk away? Is she supposed to play by their rules? Is she supposed to take whatever scraps they hand her and never complain? Or is she supposed to fight for the man she loves, knowing full well that the family will call it gold digging because they cannot accept the idea that their golden son could choose someone who did not start inside the marble foyer of the Spencer estate? That question has been asked inside this show for close to 40 years, and the writers of The Bold and the Beautiful are asking it again, right now, in real time, on a screen near you. Whether they answer it with redemption or with ruin, that is the bet they are running on, and that is the bet everyone watching the show in living rooms and break rooms across the country is now holding a ticket for. So keep your eyes on the canvas. Keep your eyes on Will. Keep your eyes on Katie, on Bill, on Wyatt, on Electra, on RJ, and yes, keep your eyes on Dylan. Because this story is not over. It is just heating up. Thank you so much for spending this time with me here on Soap Pulse. I am Anderson. If this deep dive hit home, if it made you rethink the show, or if it just gave you more reasons to keep watching, drop a comment below and tell me what you really think Dylan is going to do next, because the fans in the comments, honestly, are running the investigation harder than any of us. Tap like, share with a friend who still believes in Brooke as the original gold digger, and if you have not subscribed yet, this is the moment. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss the next chapter. We are going to follow this arc wherever it goes, all the way to whatever ending the writers decide to write, and we are going to call it like we see it every single step of the way. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay curious, and keep watching the soap.